Good morning, everyone. By now, we all know a few things about protecting ourselves online. You should change your password. Don't click on links that are in strange emails. But there is more we can do and more companies are doing to help us to stay safe. Shawn Holsombeck, our friend from AT&T, is here to tell us about those efforts. Shawn, great to have you here with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
We all love this digital world that we live in, access to everything, but a lot of people have access to us too, which sort of puts us in danger sometimes.
Yes, definitely.
So you've got some things to kind of help us keep ourselves safe.
Yeah, one thing, 47% of Americans have actually had their personal information exposed at some point. So, safety, security, cybersecurity, all definitely very important. That's why at AT&T we're working around the clock to make sure that we're combating that and trying to keep everybody safe.
Okay, talk to us about some ways we're doing that.
Well, one thing I can tell you is, our customers have done a really good job of reporting spam to us. About a year ago, they started doing this, and we're able to take all that information, investigate it, make sure that if there are bad people out there, we're able to take action on it. We now offer a free My AT&T Active Armor mobile security app that we get all that information from, and all you have to do is literally go in there, download the app, click the terms and agreements and hit accept, and you'll have access to all that to be able to block that stuff out of your phone.
So inside that app is going to give you information on how to, block certain kinds of emails and messages and even phone calls even?
Yes. You'll be able to go in there because it's going to literally just, like with the phone calls, it'll send it straight to voicemail. So you don't even have to worry about getting
How do I sign up? Tell me right now. Oh my gosh, yeah. It happens all the time.
Yes, it does.
And the thing about it is once someone gets into your system, they could possibly, get into personal information. A lot of people have bank apps on their phones. They have credit card apps and things like that. Someone gets into that, it gets really dangerous.
Yeah, it can be very dangerous. The things you want to look for, a lot of times it's going to come from a 10-digit number. It may also come from like a short code, text code, or even an email address. But you just want to make sure, if you see anything unusual, anything misspelling or something like that, that's kind of the flag to let you know this is probably a scam that you're getting.
Sometimes you will get these calls that may have, along with it, it doesn't have the name of the person that's calling, but it'll have a familiar town that you might be familiar with. Sometimes that could be spam.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you don't know them, don't open it, don't click any links because you're kind of opening yourself up to it.
My rule of thumb, sort of, and this is just for my personal self, if I get a strange number on my phone, if I don't have you locked in my phone, I'm probably just not going to answer it. And if you really have something that you need me to know, you're going to leave me a voicemail or you're going to send me a text to let me know who you are. And then I click no links at all. Okay.
Well, and one thing you can do when you do get those, there is a process on how to report them.
Okay, what do we do there?
So what you want to do, if you do receive one, you can actually click on the report text button. If you, like from the iPhones, you'll go from the message itself, and then you'll actually just tap report junk and then delete and report junk.
Right, because sometimes when I've tried to delete, it'll say delete or then delete and report. So I do need to do that.
Correct.
I see, and then it goes to AT&T.
It goes to AT&T. Okay. That's where it's going to go to our AT&T Active Armor team, and they're going to actually investigate it and make sure everything's on the up and up.
Okay, I'm glad you told me that because I'm like, do I report this? What does all this mean?
Right.
So that's good to know.
You're not going to get in trouble.
Delete and report it, so that way somebody's working on it. Let's move now to keeping our kids safe. A lot of young people now have telephones, they have devices. There are some safeguards for them as well.
Yes, definitely. You always want to make sure that the privacy settings for your kids, you want to make sure that that's checked. So you may want to opt out of things like location sharing, or allowing apps to post to social media.
So is the default setting to share, and I have to go in there and turn that off?
A lot of times when you download stuff, like in the fine print, it's going to be auto accept. So you want to make sure you go in there and opt out of it.
Okay, and all of those that will be found in settings.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. It can be hard to sort of discern what, to opt in and out to there. But as you mentioned, as a parent, it's just kind of go in there and investigate yourself and see how much access you want people to have.
Definitely. And we do have some tools, some really good tools. AT&T has a tool called AT&T Secure Family.
Okay.
That's a really good tool that we have. This is going to allow you to be able to track your kids real time for their locations. And also you can block the internet to make sure they're not going into sites they're not supposed to.
Does it have a little timer that tracks how much time they're spending online and on the device?
That's another one that we have. It's called AT&T Screen Ready.
Okay.
And that one kind of does, it puts a parental control to be able to do everything. You're in full control of the device.
All right. Keep yourself safe, the kids safe, the whole family safe. Great advice. We appreciate it. Great to see you, Shawn.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up, all it takes is one drink a day to put some women at risk of breast cancer. We'll have that coming up next. Welcome back, everyone. Researchers at Johns Hopkins are studying the link between breast cancer and alcohol. Drinking could increase the chances of cancer for women of all ages, but scientists are now trying to pinpoint why and who is most at risk. Natalie Brand reports.
Jessica Budkera is living with metastatic breast cancer.
I would be lying to say that it's not something that you don't think about constantly.
Her first diagnosis came at age 37. Nearly 4 years later, she learned it had spread.
I started reevaluating any negative kind of vices that all of us have.
That includes alcohol, a known risk factor for cancer.
There are hundreds of studies that show there's a direct association between consumption of alcohol and breast cancer risk.
Dr. Cynthia Zano, a breast cancer survivor herself and researcher at Johns Hopkins, is trying to dig into why.
We're looking at how the alcohol alters our DNA. And the reason we're doing that is we'd like to know who's at risk.
The American Cancer Society says women who have one alcoholic drink a day have a 7 to 10% increase in risk. Up to 3 drinks a day, 20% higher risk. And while cancer prevention guidelines say it's best not to drink alcohol, it's recommended women limit their intake to no more than 1 drink a day.
Be mindful of how much you drink and how often. I want to raise awareness for my daughter and for other women, just to know that this is one thing that we can change.
Jessica Budkera now stocks her fridge with alternatives to alcohol and indulges in extreme moderation.
It's really just being intentional and deliberate and being a lot more aware.
Her cancer is responding to treatment, and she's taking every step possible to live a long, healthy life. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, just walk down a street near you and you're sure to spot an e-scooter or an e-bike. They are convenient and a fun way to get around, but a new report shows injuries are increasing in cities. Naomi Ruckham has more on that.
They're everywhere. From city streets to the suburbs, people of all ages are zipping around on e-scooters and e-bikes.
The neighborhood has gotten really congested, so yeah, people just need to slow down.
And injuries associated with these so-called micro-mobility devices are soaring. A new report from the Consumer Product Safety Commission shows a nearly 21% increase from 2021 to 2022.
In particular, e-scooters had the highest increase in injuries and accounted for nearly half of the micromobility deaths. Additionally, nearly half of all estimated e-bike injuries from 2017 to 2022 occurred in 2022 alone.
Children 14 years and younger account for a significant number of injuries. Overall, fractures and contusions or abrasions are the 2 most common injuries. At least 233 people have been killed over the last 5 years. 19 deaths are related to fires, another hazard with these devices. Collisions with vehicles and simply controlling the e-devices are the leading causes of injuries. Riders are urged to slow down and stay aware of their surroundings. Also, do not make abrupt, unpredictable movements.
Consumers should always wear their helmet, and they should check the device for proper function.
Sam Toa made the switch to an e-bike because he says it's easier on his knees.
How do you keep yourself safe?
I keep my eyes open, I wear a helmet, and I stop when I'm supposed to.
He hopes more riders follow the rules and take every precaution to keep themselves and others safe. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
It is National Fire Prevention Week, and the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission is issuing a warning about the dangers of flammable liquids. Mandy Gaither has more on how to properly use and store fuel containers this fall.
From burning fall leaves to fire pits and barbecues, there are a lot of blazes this time of year, but flames and fuel don't mix.
There's thousands of people that are treated in hospital emergency rooms every year from burns and other injuries associated with fires that were related to fuel containers.
The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says properly storing, using, and handling fuel and gas cans or containers are all critical parts of fire safety.
You never want to put gasoline on a fire or an open flame. You want to use only appropriate, approved materials for starting or relighting fires.
That means a fire starter log or stick. Other things to have on hand, a fire extinguisher, water container, or hose nearby in case the fire gets out of hand.
You also want to make sure that you check the weather beforehand. Make sure that there's not high winds or gusts. And also check to see that there aren't any warnings of risk of wildfires in your area.
Gas cans or fuel containers should be stored outside of a home in a cool and well-ventilated area, and never store or handle a fuel container near a heat source or flame.
The vapors itself can catch fire and flash back and explode, or they can flash forward violently and burn people nearby.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Coming up, still singing, still entertaining. The Rolling Stones are next on Mid Morning. The Rolling Stones will release their first album of new music in 18 years, Hackney Diamonds, on October 20th. Anthony Mason sat down with Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Ronnie Wood in a rare joint interview about the new album, their enduring chemistry, and the future of the Rolling Stones with artificial intelligence.
When the Rolling Stones ended their tour last year, Mick Jagger issued a challenge to his bandmates to set a deadline to record an album.
So I said to Keith, let's try and do that. We're going in this, we're going here, and we finish by Valentine's Day. And
it's called Blitzkrieg.
Blitzkrieg, and we're going to finish it.
They did. Hackney Diamonds is the band's first album of original songs in 18 years.
You don't really need a lot to kick off a song, you know.
Yeah. We're lucky because we bounce, me and Keith. If somebody's got a riff,
bounce the ball.
And we weave. You see, lots of people say, "What is this weaving?" But it's fantastic because it provides a net for Mick to fall into.
We talked to the Stones together and individually.
Do you paint every day?
Well, when I can, yeah. When I'm not playing the guitar.
Ronnie Wood at his home in London.
Is making a record different now than it was 20, 40 years ago?
Not for us, luckily, because you can't lose that element of camaraderie and live music. Something happens which is magic, and we never try to examine it that closely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just let it rock on.
It's an old friend of ours, Electric Lady.
Keith Richards we met at Electric Lady Studios in New York, where the band worked on the album.
Do you still get excited to write a great song?
Oh yeah, even if it turns out to be lousy, the minute you think, oh, I've got something here, or you're playing another. Yeah, I mean, even the teasing thread, this could be fantastic. Yeah, that's the joy of it.
What's your songwriting process? Do you have one?
I have lots of them.
And Mick Jagger sat down with us in London.
Like Sweet Sounds of Heaven. So I wasn't trying to write a song. I was just playing the piano for fun, and then suddenly you've written Sweet Sounds of Heaven.
Lady Gaga joined Jagger on the vocal for the new song.
But it's a very satisfying thing to do. It's one of my favorite things to do.
What's satisfying about it for
you? Well,
you?
because to write a song, you just need your recording device, and you need, your voice. In 10 minutes, you can create something that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
and maybe should never exist, but sometimes they're worth it, you know?
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Jagger and Richards are one of the most successful songwriting teams of all time. The Stones have sold more than 250 million records. But back in 1962, they started as a blues band that played only covers.
I'd never considered myself to be a songwriter until somebody yelled, "We need a song." And somebody's got to come up with it. And so Mick and I sort of went in the kitchen and started and learned how to write songs, and, you know, for the Rolling Stones.
Don't get angry with me.
In the video for their new song, Angry, the vintage Stones from every era come to life again through animation and artificial intelligence. I love the new video.
What I loved about it is that we didn't have to do anything.
It looks like we did.
How do you feel about AI? I'm curious.
You know, when we're all gone, there'll still be AI, so it won't be to get rid of us.
Yeah. You could be playing forever at that rate.
You could be.
Yeah. You could be asking questions forever.
No. Another supergroup, ABBA, though no longer together, is still performing in hologram concerts. You haven't thought about having yourself, you know, sort of...
We definitely have thought about it, and we've been asked.
Cremated or embalmed.
It's going to happen, I'm sure.
You will do it.
Yeah, definitely.
The streets I used to walk on.
But Jagger, Richards, and Wood don't seem to be contemplating their own mortality.
All we need is a croak here, right?
Except occasionally. Nor are they considering their legacy.
Have you thought about that?
Oh, no, I know. Other people can think about that. I'm sure there'd be several different versions.
After 6 decades, they're talking about touring again next year. The band, Keith Richards says, is bigger than all of them.
Because in a way, it's the Rolling Stones that keep pulling Mick and me and Ronnie and back together. There's something about that I really admire about the whole bunch, you know.
That you've made it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a rough trip here and there.
All right, it's time again. We're keeping up with Kealy when Mid-Morning returns. All right, welcome back, everyone. I've come to the point in my life, if I need to be in the know, I got to know where to go. And Kealy Shields is it. It's time to keep up with Kealy
and throwing it back.
Yes, and going back. We've talked about lots of different things on here, trends. So we're like specific makeup today, not just makeup, but a time period,
an era, literally. So even though it hasn't even been 10 years, 2016 is making a comeback, especially in the makeup influencer guru world.
So what is different about makeup in 2016 versus makeup in 2020?
So I would say 2016 is really when I got into makeup, so it was so much fun, but your contour and highlight, that's really when that became a thing, and it's very heavy makeup. So you can see this picture right here. On 2016, you have a bold eye look, you have thick eyebrows, whereas like 2023 is more sleek and glowy and a little more natural. But 2016, if your makeup was not matte and heavy, you weren't doing it right.
So this is 2023 on the right-hand side?
Yes, and then 2016 is the more full, look at her eyebrow. It's so thick and like blocky, but people are like going back to this because they're like, I swear it's good memories of 2016 and just having full glam makeup to go to the grocery store.
Well, I will tell you, I'm still wearing 2003 makeup. When I was at a Mary Kay consultant to sit down and show me how to do eye makeup, I've been doing the same thing since then. So, you know, maybe this is a nice little lesson for me. So you feel like the 2016 look coming back is a good thing?
Yes.
So it's a good throwback.
I'm supportive of it because anyway, like being on air, I tend to do heavier makeup. makeup and I go back to my 2016 days. Now, I don't wear highlighter, but I have this memory of when me and my friend were going to a football game and we caked on some highlighter. And my mom didn't see me until we got to the game. And she looked at me and said, "What is on your face?" And I said, "Mom, this is how the makeup gurus do it." Because you weren't an influencer, you were a makeup guru back then.
So you've got some pictures actually of yourself, 2016, and our reporter also, Shawanda Jones. So let's take a look at those and kind of see where we were then versus where you're going now. I think we have those pictures. We'll get to them in a second. But so if I'm wanting to go back to that look, what do I need?
So I would definitely say get a full coverage matte foundation.
Okay.
And then you're going to want to
Is this Shawanda?
Yes, that is Shawanda in 2016. You can see the brows and you can see the highlight and contour, and eyeshadow is just more bold. Like you are glam just to go anywhere.
Okay, so glam is what you're going for.
What's in. I mean, the more the merrier. And this is a terrible picture, but 2016 in a time capsule. You have the
bangs,
choker, the bangs, the bold lipstick, and I didn't have a lot of makeup on, so I don't know why I did that. But this next picture is whenever I got my makeup done at Belk by one of the consultants. And you can look at the eyeshadow. It's just a smoky eye for your everyday.
That's what I'm wearing, the smoky eye from 2003.
It's just hilarious.
I was before my time.
And then like the foundation is so heavy on the skin. So it's like prom makeup every single day. Every single day.
So 2023 is really more natural look, kind of the more of a shiny sort of look.
Yes, you want to do like the inner glow in 2023, whereas 2016 you want to add on the layers.
The other thing you were talking about going back to 2016 that's kind of outside of the makeup realm, but is hair, the messy bun.
The messy bun, and I feel like that has evolved over the years so much, but the messy bun I think too is coming back in style. And then when you think of 2016, you have the infinity scarves, and then Starbucks also became aesthetic, I feel like in 2016, which is always fun.
All right, so the starter kit, you also said you got to have some Instagram filters.
Yes, you have to have your Instagram filters. That was so big in 2016. I remember taking a picture and I'd be like, I had to put on my Instagram filter, and it was just very heavy filters that didn't look great, but that was what you needed. And then also a Kealy lip kit was so popular. That was when Kylie Jenner became a big influencer, and it was known as the King Kylie era. And obviously she's still popular today, but that is where she made her mark.
All right, messy bun, heavy makeup, Instagram filter.
Instagram filters.
Let's kick it back to 2016.
Yes, let's go back to 2016 now.
All right, we always love hearing the trends from you, Kealy. You're keeping us hip and happening. Stay with us. We'll be back to wrap things up. All right, be sure you stay connected with us. We love to hear from you. Enjoy the rest of the day. See you tomorrow.